Since all of our speakers are here, let's start today's webinar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard. This is Claire from the Inverter Corporation, the organizer of today's webinar. Vietnam has been a Southeast Asia solar success story. It went from have barely any generation in 2018 to a quarter of its total installed capacity in solar, a 100-fold increase in 2 years. Under the Vision 2045, what's the future about the Vietnam solar market? So today, it's our pleasure to hold this webinar to talk about the Vietnam's solar market future. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction and a big welcome to our speakers today. They are Mr. Michael Webster, country head of Vietnam from Roder & Partner. Michael is a qualified corporator and commercial lawyer in Germany and England, and also a registered foreign lawyer in Vietnam. He joined Roder & Partner in 2014 and worked in India, Malaysia, and Vietnam. He is the country head of the Roder & Partner Vietnam operations and responsible for the coordinations of all service lines in the country, being legal, tax, and accounting. Prior to that, he spent over 9 years practicing corporate and commercial law in England, including 4 years as in-house counsel for an energy company. While working in Asia, Michael has focused on structuring foreign investments, compliance matters, and MAA for a variety of industries and sectors, including manufacturing, renewable energy, trade fair, and etc. He is a member of the Roder & Partner Global Renewable Energy Practice Group. Next, Mr. Josh Pan, Vietnam Sales Director from Goodwill. Mr. Josh Pan graduated from Foreign Trade University with a major in international business administration. He has more than 9 years of working experience for world's leading technology companies such as LG, Samsung, and Goodwill from B2C, B2B to business development senior manager. Since 2017, he started working in the renewable energy sector and in charge of business development for LG Solar HQ in Vietnam market, and currently holds the position of Vietnam Sales Director of Goodwill. Next, Mr. Kim Du Chung, Technical and Service Manager from Jinko Solar APAC. Kim has over 10 years of experience in the energy, including 5 years in the solar power sectors in Vietnam and international. Currently, he is Technical and Service Manager of Jinko Solar in the Southeast Asia market. Next, Ms. Vinnie Nguyen, King Account Manager from APAC region from Arctech. Vinnie joined Arctech as a key account manager, where his primary focus is developing the market, setting sales strategies, bringing smart and effective tracking solutions to partners. She was successful in exploring the emerging Sri Lanka market, enabling clients to achieve long-term value while lowering project risk. Prior to Arctech, she had experienced 5 years in the renewable energy and import and export industry, where she gained many valuable skills and knowledge to fuel her passion for green energy. Next, Mr. Michael Luân, CEO from Asia Clean Capital Vietnam. Mr. Michael Luân works at one of the leading developers of renewable energy in Vietnam, and he has over 25 years working experience in product design and program management. He worked as a former senior technical director for Intercope in the US, where he managed over 400 engineers and professionals. And he got a bachelor's degree in electric engineering from California State University at San Francisco. Last but not least, Mr. Chavana Chayanu, Vietnam Country Manager from Gangku Energy PCL. On the surface, Chavanat is an accomplished engineer with over 10 years of experience in the field of oil and gas and renewable energy. Chavanat's current focuses are within business development, operation management, and investment in renewable energy projects for wind and solar energy in both Thailand and Vietnam. He always ensures the viability of multi-million-dollar renewable projects. Prior to joining Gangku Energy PLC, He has worked as an offshore engineer in Thailand, Myanmar, and various other countries for 6 years, overseeing over USD 10 million projects for well-respected Thai and international clients. For today's webinar, we will have 3 10-minute plenary speeches by Gdp, Jinko Solar, Actec, and a 40 or 55 minutes panel discussion. The organizer of today's webinar, New Venture Corporation, is dedicated to supporting key investors and developers for successful development and investment in Asia-Pacific renewable energy sector. Our footprints cover Asia-Pacific countries such as Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, China, Myanmar, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and some Middle East countries. Before starting the webinar, I would like to introduce all attendees with some housekeeping notes. If you experience any technical issues or have questions for speakers, please use the below Q&A box. Now let's welcome our first speaker today, Mr. Josh Pan, Vietnam Sales Director from Gdp. Let's welcome.
Yes, thank you a lot for your introduction. So my name is Josh and currently holds a position as the Sales Director of Gdp in Vietnam. So I'm very happy to join the seminar today. So I will briefly introduction about Gdp and how Gdp do business in the Vietnam market. So please wait me a moment. Yeah. Okay, so let me present our Gdp company introduction and product portfolio. So as you can see on the screen, in Gdp we got some milestone for our company establishment in the 2010. And after that, a year later, we established the first R&D center, and we also produced the first PV inverter. And later, we also have some award efficiency in top 3 and top 5 in 2012 and 2013. And also, we launched listed on the NEEQ on 2015. We established the Gdp Solar Academy, and also we established the Gdp Australia. And 2016, we also display our inverter in IKEA across Europe. And next year, in 2017, we established the Shenzhen R&D Center. Also, we established the India Service Center. And 2018, we established in European headquarters in Germany. And also in that year, we also established the Mexico and Brazil, and also the after sales service center in here. In 2019, the Gdp new headquarters established Gdp in Benelux. And last year, we also listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. And also we have the good partner by license as a partner of the GE, the US corporation. And this year, we also established the Gdp USA, Gdp Japan, and we provide one-stop storage solution. And also we set up the global call center. And also we have more than 6 years that got the quality awards. So I move to the next slide for the Gdp family. So as you can see on the screen, the total number of employees globally, we reach more than 2,300 people with more than 500 R&D staff. So we have more than 70 overseas employees. And our global sales revenue increased rapidly from 2018 to 2020, almost double for the revenue. So total revenue, we reached to more than $240 million in last year for the global sales revenue. And about the production capacity, so good we manufacturing for the latest and the most sophisticated processes and the most advanced automation solution that deliver the good quality and maximum the efficiency of the inverter. So total capacity that solar inverters that we can produce it more than 20 gigawatt with the battery capacity more than 400 megawatt hour. And about the global rankings, in good we are top one in some market that we highlight in this slide. So as you can see that we are top one for the global energy storage inverter supplier. We also top one in China for the rooftop solar inverter, top one in Czech, top one in India rooftop, top two in Australia rooftop, top three in Spain rooftop, and top three in Turkey for the solar inverter. And about our lineup, so we have on-grid inverters that range from single phase to three phase. So we have a very wide range of the power output that from 0.7 kilowatt to more than 250 kilowatt. And you can see that we have XS model with 1 MPPT. We have a DNS model with 2 MPPT. We have MS model with 3 MPPT. And we have only in US market that AMS model that have a 4 MPPT. And in three phase, we also have a lot of range of the product lineup that we got from 4 kilowatt to 15 kilowatt with M2 MPPT that SDTG2. And also we have a more lineup in SDTG2 that the power from 17 kilowatt to 25 kilowatt. And also we have SMT with 3 MPPT and 4 MPPT MT model. And especially we have AT model with more MPPT that reach to 12 MPPT. And the model that we offer in the Vietnam market that range from for three phase that range from 4 kilowatt to more than 250 kilowatt that can meet with the all needs from the inverter, from the solar farm, large scale, from CNI and residential also. For detail, I will highlight some good solution. The first one is a focus on the residential solution. So we have one phase from 0.7 to 15 kilowatt. That is the MS model. We have 3 MPPT. With the DNS model with 2 MPPT. We have SDTG2 model with 2 MPPT. And we have XS model, the smallest one, from 0.7 to 3 kilowatt. That we have some feature that is up to 100% oversizing. It's very compact and lightweight. It also can meet with the max input current 25 ampere. This is only for residential solution. And for the CNI solution, that's a commercial and industrial solution. That good we offer in the Vietnam market, we have from 17 to 136 kilowatt. That inverter can have up to 12 MPPT. We have some add-on function like we can full load operation at 50 degrees Celsius. We can allow to up to 50% of AC output overloading. And also we can allow for oversizing DC up to 50%. And in Vietnam market, we offer 4 lineup from SDT, SMT, MT, and AT. And especially for the AT model, we offer from 100 to 136 kilowatt that can suitable for the CNI that installed in the factory and some industrial park. And move to the utility scale, we also have the solution for the solar farm or big scale of the solar that we have 80 model. Which solution can have the power from 225 to 250 kilowatt. And also beside the PV solar inverter, we also offer the energy storage inverter. And also we divided into three parts. The first one is single phase. Single phase for the hybrid inverter, we offer from 3 to 5 kilowatt. We with the model can suitable with the low voltage and also with the high voltage battery. And also we offer the 3-phase for the energy storage inverter also. That's suitable for the big side of the rooftop solar system. So we offer from 5 kilowatt to 50 kilowatt. So as you can see on the screen, so we offer a lot of the product range into the Vietnam market. And also I would like to focus on is a all-in-one model that ESA from 5 kilowatt with the battery 10.8 kilowatt hour. That is a new solution from Gdp, and also have some big scale of the inverter storage that we offer the 50 kilowatt that the BTC that's suitable for CNI storage system. And this is the Woodbury battery, the lineup. So we offer the two lineup, the LV battery and 8V battery with the different range of the output and the design that's suitable for the residential and for the CNI project. So it's more detailed about the each lineup of the Woodbury. So the first one we offer for the residential energy storage system that offer from 3 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt. So we have the ET model, E8, ES, EM, BT, and ESA. That's suitable for residential. And also Woodbury provide a parallel solution on the grid side for mini CNI energy storage system based on the 3-phase ET hybrid inverter that can install up to 100 kilowatt. And also we have the solution for battery ready that can offer for the energy storage system. And other solution that we have the all-in-one, the energy storage. So it's very easy for customer can use for residential purpose. So it already pre-installed device. We already pre-wired cables, and we already set up for connection. And we in that ESA 5 kilowatt, so we contain for 5 kilowatt hybrid inverter with IP65 protection. We have a pre-wired box, already integrated wiring device, and we already add on for battery bank that we have a smart fan cooling with IP54 protection with Leon battery. And also that is the battery power reservation solution. So we can manage it on by our software and solution. And so we have some economical mode that can flexible chart or deep chart testing already can show on our system and software that can very easy to manage and train for the setting. And also in our software, we can monitoring for the real-time monitoring, for daily and historical monitoring, or we can have some smart meter to for the self-view analysis, and that will very easy for the customer can see on the system, because this one can send to the Goodwill server via the Wi-Fi communication and store up all data on the Goodwill SMS portal or app. Next slide is for CNI storage solution that for the big scale of the Goodwill can offer for the CNI project with the BTC module up to 50 kilowatt. So you can see on the slide for the design and for the feature that our product can have. We can adjustable the reactive power. We have a built-in remote shutdown. We also can meet for the UPS level switch time for that 150 kilowatt inverter for CNI storage solution. And it's also very convenient offer from Goodwill for the maintenance also. And also we also add on some the feature we call that one-stop solution that we already include all components in the box and do need to separate the purchasement for installment and have the customer very easy to install for our inverter. And also our inverter meet for the UPS level switch time. It means no supply break using a sudden grid outage. So UPS level means that the switch time less than more than 10 ms. But most of the brand in the market, so it's around 5 seconds or longer. So our inverter is under EPS level. And that is a bidirection unbalanced three-phase output that offer from Goodwill. So that is all about my presentation about the Goodwill technology and introduction. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for your sharing. The next speaker will be Mr. Kendu Chong, Technical and Service Manager from Jinko Solar APAC. Let's welcome.
Okay, thank you, Josh, for your detailed presentation. The next, may I introduce myself? I'm Kendall Chung, Technical Service Manager the Jinko Solar in Southeast Asia market. So today I would like to spend 10 minutes to introduce with all of the attendees and speakers about our company and our new product for the next future markets. So as you already know that Jinko, one of the biggest solar PV manufacturers, and at the moment we are very proud that Jinko is the number one company in terms of the total energy shipment to the market, and we are the first one who reached it to the 50 gigawatt shipment globally. And at the moment we also take about 14%, 14.3% of the global market share, and with the module capacity as about 32 gigawatt peak. And Jinko Solar have our our PV manufacturers and around the world includes one in USA, one in Malaysia, and the newest one in Vietnam, Quảng Ninh province, and other factories for the polysilicon cells production and the module production in China. Qinghai, Shangrao, and Haining is all some of our biggest factories. We also have about 30 service centers around the world to provide our best support to our customer. And Jinko is one of the biggest PV manufacturers, not only in China, but also in some biggest markets like USA, Japan, Germany, Australia, and Vietnam. And we are the manufacturer who have the vertical integrated. So we have produced our polysilicon wafer cells and also PV module. You can see here some of the Jinko silicon wafer manufacturer in Sichuan, Yunnan, and Jiangxi province, and the module factory in Zhejiang and Anhui. Also, this year we are deploying one of our factory in Vietnam, Quảng Ninh province. So our core business is focusing the PV technologies include wafer, cells, module, and some other PV product like BIPV, and another new product is the energy storage system. For the core business, the Jinko solar module is quite famous, right? And we have our product portfolio with many products for the customer in residential markets, commercial market, and utility scale market. And other solution we are developing at the moment is energy storage, BIPV, and other like pumping, communication. And one of the most important thing we want to introduce to our market this year is BESS, and BIPV. Jinko have reached to many important awards and certificates. So that's why we can meet the diversified demand from the customer around the world. And you may know that some of the biggest projects in Vietnam and Australia, Abu Dhabi, is using Jinko solar panel. Okay, I should go very fast in the brief about introduction about our company. And the next section, I will go to one of the new products that Jinko want to introduce with the global customer and Vietnam customer. This product is the new generation of PV module, and we expect that this will be the main product for the next 10 years. That means it's the new generation of PV technologies. We call it the N-type Tiger Neo product. So as you may know that at the moment we are using mainly P-type product with the mono-PERC technologies, and the efficiency of the mono-PERC technology almost reached to its ceiling of the technical. So we have to go with higher technologies to improve the efficiency of the solar cell, thus improve the project efficiency to meet the investor expecting in terms of the economical. So the new generation of the PV panel, we call it N-type, and compared to the conventional or the current popularity product, P-type is a different type of the solar cells. We call it N-type. As you may know that the solar cells made from the P layer, P-N junction, and N layer, and the difference in the cell structure make us have the different solar cell. With it have no LID defect. N-type have no LID defect because in P-type we during the silicon production process, we have the boron-oxygen defect, boron-oxygen complex inside the wafer, and the boron-oxygen defect will absorb several electrons during the first few hours when the PV module is exposed to the sunlight, and it causes the degradation. We call it LID, light-induced degradation. And the LID can cause up to 1.5% loss on the Pmax of the panel. On the N-type, we don't have the LID defect. On N-type panel, we don't have LID defect because on N-type, we don't use boron for the wafer doping, but we use the phosphorus to perform the N layer. So in N-type, we don't have LID defect. And another technical I want to introduce that we apply on our N-type solar panel is TOPCon technologies, called the tunnel oxide passivated contact. Similar to PUC, the TOPCon technologies is add several additional layer on the surface of the solar cell to improve the cell's efficiency and the cell ability to generate DC current under the sunlight. So we call it a photovoltaic effect. On TOPCon technologies, we add one more important layer. We call it tunneling layer. This tunneling layer will improve the ability of the electron to move out of the N silicon substrate to perform the current, and also it will reduce the resistance loss and reduce the recombination rate of the electron after it's moved out from the solar cell under the photovoltaic effect. And as well as the P-type, the solar PV N-type can be applied for different scenario of the solar project like CNI, utility, and residential market. And we have N-type 78 half cells, 600 watt peak, 72 half cells, about 550 watt, 60 watt peak, and the smaller version for the residential rooftop. Some of the main product technical advantages I want to emphasize here is the first year degradation just 1% compared to the P-type is 2%, because no LID. So we can see that the first year degradation of the N-type is very low, just a half of the P-type. And also the linear degradation annually, it reduced 0.4% compared to 0.55% on P-type. The second one is very important. The product advantage of the N-type is the temperature coefficient, 0.3%. And we can see the difference from the temperature coefficient here. The N-type just reduce 72 watt peak, while the P-type can reduce 84 watt peak under the same cell temperature, because it have the different temperature coefficient. So we have the different output. And other is the bifacial factors, and product reliability higher than P-type, and low light performance. Yes, and we also use circular ribbon and system 16 bus bar on our N-type product. So totally it will improve 3% higher than P-type. That's my LCOE analysis. We can see that from 3% adder of the energy used, we can have better IRR and LCOE for the project. Yes, and also the N-type product can have with any kind of inverters, include would-be, right? And we also applicable with any kind of fixed mounting tracker or 2P trackers. Yeah, so I think my time is very limited. So would like to thank you all today. And any demand of the PV module, or if you have more questions about our Jinko Solar product, please contact us at vietnam@jinkosolar.com, or email me to customer service cs@jinkosolar.com. Thank you very much. I finished my presentation here.
Thank you, Ken. Now let's turn to the panel discussion today, forecast to 2030 and vision to 2055. Which technique will dominate the growth point of Vietnam solar market development in the long term? Now, today we will have Michael Wexler, Mr. Josh Pan, Mr. Ken Du-Chong, Ms. Vinian Nguyen, Mr. Michael Luan, and Mr. Chavanath Chayanu. The moderator will be Mr. Michael Wexler. Let's welcome.
Over 3,500 staff, 110 offices. And here in Vietnam, we do have 2 offices, one in Ho Chi Minh City, one in Hanoi, and we do offer legal services, tax advisory, and BPO accounting, and also through a cooperation partner audit services. So all these things may be of interest to you at some point. And obviously, in particular, we have a focus on renewable energy, about accounting for project companies or tax incentives advisory, or M&A related to projects and so on. So if there's any requirement about this, please feel free to contact me at any time. But now, turning to our panel, I'm very excited. We have a very, very interesting panel here today. We have a good mix of technical brains and people who deal with maybe with the commercials and also some of the regulatory backgrounds and so on. So I'm really looking forward to a very good discussion, especially interesting for me being a lawyer. So I see transactions and documents and so on, but less so the technical background. So I'm very interested in finding out more about this particular area. The way we sort of try to structure the discussion here today to cover as many items as possible was to obviously, because of the high quality of technical people on our panel, we will focus on technical solutions quite a lot. However, as we know, in any kind of project, whether it's related to renewable energy or some other things, it is also important to keep an eye on the regulatory environment, policies available, and so on. So we're going to try to have a quick look at these items as well. And obviously, what is also of interest is to discuss some of the commercials. What are the risks and what to look out for, and so on. And obviously, all of our panelists have hands-on experience with all these things. So hopefully, we will be able to share some insights and some news and some assessments and views on items which maybe not quite clear at the moment, or be with a bit of a question mark in respect of how things are moving forward. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Again, please feel free to ask questions, and we will deal with these questions at the end of our roughly 40 to 45 minute session. So maybe just to kick us off, I would invite everyone, just a little warm up on our panel. Please do not go at great length. The idea at the beginning would be for everyone to spend maybe 1, maximum 2 minutes, just give you a current perspective, how things are going in Vietnam in respect of solar projects and solar development. So in particular, will be obviously interesting to see your perspective for your specific viewpoint in terms of manufacturer, supplier of components, project management, maybe finance, and all these things. So as I said, keep it short because we have a lot of items for later in the discussion, but maybe an initial assessment about your feeling of what is going on here in Vietnam. Maybe Jinko Solar, maybe I can invite you to share your thoughts.
Okay, in terms of the talk about a bit about the Vietnam solar market at the moment, I can share that the big question right now is what is the next policy, right? So I can summarize some of our information related to the newest information from MOIT about the solar policies. First, the rooftop size may rise up to 7 megawatt peak limitation, not 1 megawatt peak at the like in the FIT 2 or FIT 1 period. But the demand of the self-consumption in terms of the rooftop system may up to 70 or 90% of the energy use. So a customer have to use at least 70% of the energy use for their own demand, and the government can cover and buying the rest, about 30 due to 10%. And the FIT policy, FIT price, maybe for the rest of the energy use may charge about 5.2 up to 5.8 cents. That's it, our newest information from the related department like EVN and MOIT. But up to now, I can confirm that up to now, there's no sign that the Vietnamese government will apply FIT for utility scale project. DPPA and auction scheme will be the next choice for the utility scale project. And the DPPA and the auction guideline is scheduled to open in late 2021. Yeah, and maybe there's some information for the panelists. Then our discussion will based on that. I think based on that expectation and predict of the next policy. Any other update from you guys?
Yeah, the next one on my panel would be Chavandot. So maybe what's your view on what's going on in Vietnam?
Thank you, Michael. So my perspective on this one, yeah, I agree with Mr. Chung. Like because the solar market, I think it will move forward to commercial side like C&I more and more. There is not much room for utility scale, because if we look at the latest draft of PTP 8, they put the solar capacity from today, 2021, and it will increase around like only 2,000 megawatt, right, for the next 10 years. That means 200 megawatt per year, and we can build in like 6 months. For 200 megawatt for one project only. But the total for in PDP 8, it will be around 2,000 megawatt for the next 10 years. So I agree with Mr. Chung that it will move forward to commercial side more and more, that we have to sell it to private sector. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. So the trend seems to so the development seems to be going towards commercial rather than utility scale. Interesting. Let's see how we can develop this thought further in our discussion. Vinny, would you like to add something from your perspective?
Thanks, Michael. Okay, I can say that Mr. Kim and Chavandot have quite clear information about the status of Vietnam. So I have some information that I can say that Vietnam is in journey to become a renewable energy powerhouse. So, but the question is how and when, and no one cannot be sure now. But I believe that the PTP8 plan will answer it. According to recent PTP8, Vietnam announced its plan to shift from fixed to auction mechanism into order ensure the steady and stable growth, and further drive the renewable price down. That's a way to manage the growth, and that's growth in the orderly fashion. So furthermore, PTP8 showed that Vietnam plans to start leaving coal behind and embrace the renewable energy source. So especially in wind power with solar power, maybe put solar behind the meter sales consumption. And also the storage solution is also consideration in this draft. So that's a perfect opportunity for both internal and external energy company and investor. However, the journey may be slower because Vietnam has facing its current challenges such as over-congestions of the grid. So that's why it has some estimate that suggest around 60% solar projects have faced curtailment. So the solution being both that expand transmission and distribution capacity, and draft DPBI policies. So I think that now we just wait and see how things will unfold in the next year. And what we know for sure that VINA holds that all hands and has everything to take to enjoy the switch toward the renewable energy domination. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting. I would certainly say curtailment is the word which we heard quite a lot in the past in connection with projects, which seems to be causing a bit of headache to some. So it's certainly something maybe we pick up later in the discussion in respect of commercial risk, which are there in the discussion and so on. So, but yes, thank you for the initial feedback. Josh, do you want to add something from a view of a component manufacturer who is in the market? Where do you think things are going?
Yeah, thanks, Michael, for asking me a question. From my point of view, because in Vietnam we already passed to FIT 1 and FIT 2, and market is quite booming last year for the solar market. And actually, from now, the market will focus more on the self-consumption. That means we have a CNI and the residential more than the utility or large-scale solar project. That is my point of view. And following with that, in good we also have the storage solution that can apply for the self-consumption. And also we prepare some good product that can meet for the CNI project that will be focused from this year to next year. Because we know that we're waiting for the PTP8 that side from the government. And also we are waiting for the new scheme of the solar market in Vietnam. For example, like DPPA, or we have the solar with the storage system. But until now, not yet signed. So it's all for the self-consumption. And that's the market now. We also think that it will more focus on the CNI. So in my point of view, that is the market. Maybe at the beginning of next year, we can issue some new policy or something like that. We're not confirmed yet about that one. But in my point, in my factory view, we prepare for the market in that point in time, and we have the suitable solution that can offer to the developer and the EPC company at the moment. Yeah. So that's my point of view. Thank you, Marco. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. There seems to be a theme developing. We seem to have an agreeable panel, sort of arguing more or less in the same direction, which is obviously reassuring in terms of commercial over utility, a bit of uncertainty in terms of where things develop. FIT we heard a couple of times. So Michael, you're the last one in our initial round. Do you agree with the panelists, or do you want to add controversy to the panel?
Although I totally agree with the panelists. They highlight, what's going on in Vietnam. But if you look at the rooftop solar, for examples, it was a big hit in 20, right? And then last year, it's like no activity at all. And simply is we didn't have the FIT 3. EVNs set up a very, very tough guideline for grid connections. So it come down to self-consumptions for solar rooftop. If you talk to clients, especially multinationals, they have a very clear target to achieve their net zeros by 2030. So they want solar as energy. They want a transitions energies to go with solar. But everybody waiting for FIT 3, everybody waiting for grid connections. So for Asia Clean Capitals, we have the solutions. We're working on the solutions in terms of technicals and financials to help our clients. And this is the way it's going to be in the next couple of years for commercial and industrial rooftop solar business. And another point that I want to bring up is direct PPA. If you look at the RE100 companies like Intel's, Samsung's, all the big boys, rooftop solar, it's not going to be the answer. They want the PPAs, right? So I think this is I hope the PDPAs will have the answers for all of the investors as well as the clients. Okay.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I muted myself. Thank you very much for this this insight, Michael. If I can maybe just keep you for one more round, since we had all sorts of, but we had already mentioned PDP8 so many times and related items. So I promise not to talk too much about regulatory framework. However, I cannot resist. So just allow me maybe two more minutes on this. So Michael, maybe you can just bear with us for one more round and just shed some light maybe for participants who are not that familiar with these instruments here in Vietnam. So we had a lot of things going through the newspapers and so on. So we have PDP8, which is obviously the plan which the government develops in terms of energy development of the country, and there were certain directions in this PDPA, which initially do not point maybe 100% towards renewable, but sort of a mix of energy development. Then we have COP27 in Glasgow, where there was this sort of fairly surprising announcement to say that there will be about the withdrawal from coal over the next decades, zero net emission targets and so on. So what's your assessment of all of this? Where is this all going? Does it mean that the PDPA is very much in flow still, or what's your view on this?
Well, I first let me make sure we are clear, right? I'm not authorized to be the officials speakers for PDP8. But if you look at Vietnam as a whole, right? Vietnam is coming back very strong in 2022. Right? If you look at the fundamental, the GDP, the GDP growth in Vietnam was still positive during the COVID, right? Every other country in Southeast Asia getting hit very hard, going negative, and Vietnam still stays strong at 2.9, 3.8, and then forecasting go all the way to 6.5 of next year. So in terms of growth, Vietnam is doing really well. So this is a fact. These are data, right? And Vietnam just had the new government who very strongly supports, right, the renewable energies. And you look at the COP26, right? Vietnam committed, right, to reach net zero carbon emission target by 2050. That's a huge commitment from Vietnam, right? So you look at all of these data. I'm talking with data, right? And all of this leading to supporting, the government is supporting renewable energies, right? The government is stated that, right, will double the installed wind and solar power generations by 31 to 38 gigawatt by 2030s. So all of these big numbers is supporting the PDP8. So we're not speculating what the PDP8 is going to look like. But if you read what the government is saying and committed to the entire world, they are very supported renewable energies, right? Solar, wind. So these are the big numbers that we're probably going to see in PDP8, and we're all waiting for that. So I'm not speculating what is going to be in the PPDA, but from the data that we're collecting so far, it's very supportive PPDA, right? Another thing is that if you look at the multinational company, right? The latest news, you guys all see what Lego gonna be in Vietnam, right? And you look at Legos, right? They're gonna be the first factories in Vietnam committed to 100% solar energy, that including rooftop and, solar farm, right? So this is a huge commitment from multinational company who want to come to Vietnam and use 100% renewable energies. So all of this information, if you look at the data and then you're kind of guessing what the PPDA is going to be, it's going to be fully favorable, solars and winds and renewable energies, and that's all I can tell.
Yeah. Thanks. I think that's very insightful. I think everyone understands that you're obviously not speaking on behalf of the people drafting the PDPA, but I think the way you presented the facts are very, very insightful to put it slightly in perspective, especially the macroeconomic perspective that Vietnam was one of the few countries. And of course, there is a demand which will be growing, put it one way or the other. I think that's a very, very important fact to highlight, and also that and the commitment in Glasgow, which was quite strong. So we have to we have to view our expectations in the light of these facts, I suppose, and see what happens. So thank you very much for that. Maybe just one last question to the panel about a couple of things which were already mentioned in the initial round. What is the status of we've sort of heard that currently it's more about commercial rather than utility scale. What is the status of auction mechanisms and similar things? Anyone would like to mention anything here? Anything worthwhile?
Yeah, I think as we talk about the utility scale project, I think all of the utility scale project in the next time will run under DPPA or auction scheme, and with the end of the policy supporting investor with the FIT price, the investor of the utility scale project and DPPA project will need more careful calculation and more careful in terms of the project feasible study. Because not like the last 2 years when we jump into a race of the project schedule to meet the COD timeline. In the next time, the investor and the developer should pay more attention in terms of the technical things and in terms of the improve the system performance, system efficiencies to get the best LCOE value and to meet the requirement in terms of the internal rate of return. So back to our main topic today of the discussion. I think from that perspective of the new policy without the FIT price, and I think that that will give us another chance from the manufacturer perspective to introduce to customer the high efficiency product. Even though it is a little bit higher price, but will improve at the end of the day, will improve a lot in terms of the LCOE and the IRR of the project. So it is another chance, another opportunities for the manufacturers to introduce the new product, new technologies with higher performance to the market. Yeah, that's it from my thinking.
Okay, thank you very much. That's interesting perspective. Trung, if I might just keep you there maybe for the next question, because I think we should move on to more technical items a little bit. So what is your view on all these ideas floating around there in terms of technical solutions currently? So what do you think is going to be the next or the current big thing? Because if we think about commercial installations, then my non-technical brain would sort of think more about rooftop maybe installations on top of a factory, something like that. But where are all these kind of new things, relatively new things developing here in Vietnam? For example, like ground-mounted versus floating solar. Do you see kind of any potential for this, or any other technologies where you say, oh, this is going to be interesting in the times to come? From just purely from a technical perspective.
Yeah. Okay. With the the last 2 years booming in Vietnam solar, we witnessed a lot of solar farms But for the next periods, I think the investor and the developer will pay more attention for the floating solar, which it bring better energy yield and thus improve a lot in terms of the internal rate of return. For the CNI scales, I don't think the mini farm or so-called rooftop project can be continued because the government keep the conversation on this issue, and there are more inspection from the EVN to mini farm rooftop project. So the only option for the CNI scale project next period is the self-consumption on the rooftop of the industrial zone or the factory that to provide the electricity for the self-consumption demand. Yeah, and back to the utility scale project, I think besides the floating project, it will be another trend to develop the bifacial project with the tracking system to improve the output energy use, because right now it's very difficult to develop a new project to get the approval from DPP and a national power plant aid, and that's why the investor and the developer will want to optimize and maximize the output of the project. So bifacial technologies with tracking will be the next trend of the utility scale project. Maybe Vinny and Josh or Chavanut may share some more information from your side.
Actually, from my side, we know that we have some policy for the auction for the large scale of the solar farm, but until now it's not yet confirmed. So actually, from my side, I think that for solar farm big scale, it cannot booming if compared with the last two feed FIT price. And actually now not much of the project can be applied for the auction scheme if that we issue that one. So now for the Vietnam market, we still have some solar farm project, floating project that maybe can be considered into that policy, but due to the some grid connection issue and other things, so in our point of view, we think that it must be the self-consumption. So we focus on the commercial and industrial more than the big scale of the solar farm. But if we can issue for that auction scheme, so also from our side, our manufacturer, we also have some product that can meet that requirements. So we are ready to adapt with the new policy from Vietnam market, from large scale solar farm, CNI, residential, and other things. But in my opinion, auction is not much chance for Vietnam. So we still need to wait for the policy. So I think that's all my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's been very interesting. Vinny, do you want to add anything on the general kind of technical development where things are going? Are we going to you agree with your panelists by saying we're going to possibly see less rooftop, more floating and other things? What's your view on this?
Okay, for my opinion, related to auction scheme that Mr. Chose has shared something. I think from point of view, I think this will have to make electricity price more competitive in the future for the utility scale. It reduces the exclusive power of industry, and this maybe make both a challenge and opportunity for investor. But from tracker point of view, from my side, now and in the future, you can see as the combining technology are consistently evolving, and the panels are getting bigger and bigger. So tracker from our tracker technology must be involved to meet the market demand. So I think no matter how the tracker change in the future, I believe that's important to follow the fundamental drivers of solar industry, such as quality of tracking, relevant innovation that spark improvement in efficiency, and ability to optimize LCOEs by reducing installation costs or overall CapEx or OpEx. But industry-wide, you can see the equipment prices are dropping, installation and own-end efficiency are improving. So this trend is expected to continue in the next few years, being able to further reduce the LCOE while maintaining quality or system reliability. That will be a challenge for tracking manufacturers. But who are able to maintain such factor, we find themselves in forefront of the market. And this is absolutely beneficial for investor. So because we are mostly focused on the utility scale, so our viewpoint in mainly sharing about the solar farm mostly. For rooftop scales, for rooftop, I think later in the future we will have another technology to apply for the rooftop, and have to reduce LCOE for investor in the future. So that's from my paper.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. So you already mentioned in a couple of sentences the actual product. So maybe if you can, I don't know, give us a view or the crystal ball view of the future. So you mentioned already that there may be development in your area to provide systems for rooftop and so on. So if you give us maybe some insight, where do you think your particular product is going in the next 5, 10 or 15 years? I mean, what is going to be different? What new things we're going to see?
Yes, in the future, as I said, something I mentioned about no matter how the tracker are, so it must be follow the fundamentals drive solar industry. So that about quality, relevant innovation that spark improvement in efficiencies, and especially in reduce the LCOEs. That's it reduce the installation cost and overall corporate OpEx. So that's why it's making more beneficial for investor in the future.
Okay, thank you very much. Josh, do you want to add something? What is to be expected from your product in the next 5 or 10 years?
Actually, we are strong in the energy storage system, and we have the storage inverter together with the battery. So because in the Vietnam market, we that I mentioned before, we have some issue related to the grid connection, that the solar fluctuate for the energy or something like that affect a lot on the EVN grid connection. And so from our manufacturer side, factory side, so we offer for the energy storage system that can help the residential and also CNI to self-consumption to reduce for the peak hour. For example, like in factory, we have some very high price in the peak hour. And if we are using our storage system, so we can reduce for electricity in the peak hour. That means we can increase for IRR, and also we can make the financial model more feasibility about that one. And I think for the market in Vietnam in next 5 years, so maybe we can have a new scheme for the solar with the energy storage system, and we hope that can be issued in the Vietnam market soon. So we already have that lineup, and we already have that product already, and we are strong. We are number 1 in that in inverter lineup. So whenever the Vietnam market is ready for that one, so we will supply for the best product in here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Finally, last one, Chung, do you want to add something on the future products from your company? Are we going to see smaller, bigger, better panels, or what's the floating ones?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And maybe all of you will think that in the future, the PV panel will be very big, right? Big at the double size of the queen bed in the 5-star hotel. But actually it's not. In the future, the PV panel, the most important thing for PV panel is the efficiencies. With it, decided how many watt peak per square meter. So as well as the trend in the every country of the solar development and renewable energy development, just 1 or 2 years with FIT policy, and then we'll go on to auction scheme or DPPA. So the demand of the high efficiency product will be the main demand for the manufacturers. So for our future products, we will focus to improve our product to enhance the first is the efficiency. The second one is the durability. Because the customer becomes smarter and smarter, they ask for longer warranty term, better price, but always higher output power to save the BOS cost. So that is all of our determination and our engine behind the product development: efficiency, durability, and cheaper price. Yes.
Here we go. Cheaper price, everyone likes, I think. So that's
actually I'm a technical guy, and I don't like talk much about the price anyway. But anyway, in any kind, after the better efficiency and better durability, always cheaper or at least equal price. If you develop more expensive, so it's very hard to talk with customer. But cheaper, this means in total, in the whole picture of the project, the cheaper price, I mean the better LCOE and the better internal rate of return for the investor. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, but precisely. So I was going to say everyone likes a cheaper price, but as they sometimes say, you buy cheap, you buy twice. So obviously it's all about the entire package you're getting for your money, which is the key for the investor at the end of the day, as we know. So thanks for that. Maybe moving on to commercial project risks. Chavanut, maybe that's one for you, since you had experience in designing these projects and seeing them through and so on. So I mean, ideas kind of floating around in this area is about what are the sort of common commercial risk in projects which you have seen, things like PPA bankability issues. I mean, grid connectivity and grid capacity has been mentioned a couple of times. Financing. What are the current things people are talking about from your perspective?
Actually, we have been discussed on the bankability of PPA in Vietnam since maybe 2016, 2017. It was a hot issue all over the world before Vietnam released the first FIT one for the solar, for the PPA that has no limit on the curtailment, right? But finally, between investor and the bank find a ways how to finance the project. And we have been finance the project for the FIT 1, FIT 2. Of course, it comes with a higher risk with that the investor side, because bank require for sponsor support for all the project financing, and it is not a normal way we do in Thailand or wherever. Normally we don't do the sponsorship for the project financing, right? But with the bankability that is not bankable PPA in Vietnam, then they require the sponsor support. So, but for FIT 1, FIT 2 have like 9.35 cents and 7.09 cents. As an investor, we still have something to bet on. I mean, like we have high price, but okay, sometime maybe we got the curtailment, but it has come clearer nowadays with the seriously curtailment all over the Vietnam. Some area facing the curtailment up to maybe 20 to 25%, which is not now. It's not only cut the profit out. Some of the project facing the problem with the repayment already. So this is a big issue for the investor. Actually, this is higher risk for us. And in my opinion, with the lower FIT, and as we talk many times, maybe no more FITs, we going for auction or DPPA with 5 cents or 5.8 cents, which is pretty low. And with the curtailment still remain and no limit on the curtailment and expensive financing costs from the local bank, and we have some problem already happened to the wind project that now they cannot meet the COD, and we don't know yet of how the future will going because they don't have the price like and so on. So I think it will be really challenge for financing the renewable project in Vietnam, because if the PPA is still unlimited curtailment, and if we go for auction, it will headache for the one who runs the financing, because the financial model is gonna be so complex, because we as an investor in this field, we understand that the safety comes first for the grid, right? But I think in the future, if we want to meet, as Michael mentioned before, that we want to be net zero within 2050, we have huge number to go, and if it's not financing, then it will be the problem. So I think the future of the PPA gonna be reviewed together between between investor, between EVN and everyone, to make it like possible. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that. Michael, you have been mentioned directly. Anything from you to add, maybe not on this specific item, but generally commercial project risk to watch out for?
Yes, for commercial, I think the biggest challenge is, what you're going to do with the, excessive powers from solar powers when the client is not used, right? For examples, you notice the factories and commercial where they don't work on Sunday, then where's this that excessive energy gonna go? If the requirement from EVN is so tight in terms of grid connections due to curtailments and a lot of things going on. So I think for commercial, the challenge is, if we're gonna apply the net zeros strategies, then we're wasting a lot of energy, and maybe good we have a solution for us using the ESS. I don't know. I think it's a big question mark. The solar business is going to change totally in the next couple of years in Vietnam, and we need solution. We need work around solution. We need thinking outside the box to be able to to do this. It's a challenge. Look ahead. It's a challenge. Rooftop is very challenging, and go beyond that. Then we talk about O&M. Right? I mean, now you have all kind of projects. How are you going to do the O&M so that you can get, better efficiencies? We all talk about efficiency here, but then, if you go deep into it, then you need to think about the degradation of the solar panels, talk about the quality of the construction, and so on and so forth. So moving forward, you really need a very strong, experienced developers and investors to tackle the market in Vietnam. It's not like going to be booming in 20s when overnight you see 9 or 10 gigawatt of rooftop solar selling to the grid. Moving forward, the growth going to be slow, but going to be very meaningful. This allows the best developers, the best investors to invest in the markets.
Okay, thank you very much for this addition. I think my last question, I'm just looking what time it is. So time is flying when you're having fun, as they say. So my last question would be, anyone wants to have a prediction about where the energy prices are going to go? Are they going to go up because of higher demand? Are they going to stay? What's going to happen? Or do we simply say we don't know? Anyone with a view from the crystal ball, or shall we leave it like that?
Well, if you look at historical data, right, consumers' electric price continue going up at 5 to 6% almost every year. So would that stop? I don't think so, because demand and supply, right? Now, if you look at the FIT price, right? The fixed price definitely have to go down because those are all the curtailments that they have grid problems. I think until they're solving the transmission line, the grid problems, then it becomes the norm. But right now, you know, it's a lot of supply into the grid that they you know, AVN had no control of it. So that's why there's a lot of curtailment going on.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you very much, Michael, the man behind the data. I think it's always useful to look at the data for answers, because as you said, I mean, we had certain developments in the past, so why should it be different in the future? But at the end of the day, we don't know. So here we go. I'm just looking to, so thank you for that. I'm just looking to NeoVenture. Are we time constrained, or do we have time for a couple of questions? Let me know.
Actually, we have another speakers will give our plenary speech. So
in that case, I take it as a friendly invitation to wrap up, and we'll do so immediately. So thank you very much to the audience. If you have questions, I mean, the details of all the speakers have been published, so feel free to contact them directly for any sort of questions, I suppose. That would be fine, or through NeoVenture, whatever the protocol may be. Thank you very much for listening to all the attendees who managed to bear with us. And thank you very much to the very agreeable and knowledgeable panel here today. It was a pleasure discussing with you. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Stay safe, and see you soon here or somewhere else.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. Great thanks to our speakers for the great discussion and information sharing. Now, next, let's welcome our last speaker, Vinny Nguyen from Architect. Let's welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction, Claire. Okay, so I'm Vinny from Architect Solar, and I'm based in Vietnam. So it's my pleasure to share the vision in this market. So on the topic today, I will go into three main parts, including tracker advantage, Architect technology, and experience in Vietnam project. Let's go with the first part. So as you know, tracker brings many advantage to solar projects. Thus, here I will share some outstanding that I believe that most investors would be interested in. Those are increased annual energy output, reduce the LCOE, and maximize the ROI. So let's go to the details. It says that solar tracking generates more energy than fixed solution, which is almost 15 to 30% more, depend on the geographic locations as well as the method combined with models. So in Vietnam, especially in central and southern regions, there are higher solar radiation. So when using with a tracking solution, it will be a level to generate more electricity for project. So by generating much more power, it makes a significant contribution to reduce the LCOE. Let's see an example in this table. Assuming to get monofacial and fixed as a baseline for comparison with the option 1, bifacial combined with fixed, and the option 2, bifacial combined with tracker. Then considering the first thing about system costs, we can say that the cost is increasing about 3% with option 1 and 7% with option 2 compared to the baseline. But look, this LCOE decreased significantly. In these reductions, it's vary according to the soil condition. So it's decreased more than 7% for the option 2 with the clay sand land. I mean, with the good condition, soil condition. So it have the bay softer and increase the IRR. Thus, the estimate engineer increasing about 25% compared to the baseline and more than twice as much option 1 in the good soil. So we favorite soil condition in Vietnam. So I believe that my facial tracker solution is 100% adaptable. And another very important aspect to emphasize that tracker also improve the wave power output, its delivery, and helping maximize the ROI. In this picture, we can see that the power delivery curve for fish system look like a bell set and big at the midday. But with tracker, the curve is wider. We will approach the maximum power from the early morning to late afternoon. In order to maximize the ROI, so choosing a tracker system is very important. Here are some important factors I think investors can consider. The first is the power density. We can choose the system. We can increase the number of modules per land. The second is ground coverage ratio. It is refining the earth to what distance between the module row within the specified plot of land, and especially on range of motion. Extending the angle that module can be rotated in order to track more radiation. And here is the first tracker project that Artex provided in Vietnam with a capacity of nearly 60 megawatts. Using Artex 1B Skylight solution, it's converging all the ideal conditions to generate the most energy. So with a bold outstanding advantage, whether the technology in Artex products can meet them. Okay, before answering this question in next part, I would like to share a brief for all of you know about Artex. So we founded in 2009 and headquartered in Kunshan, China. Artex is leading manufacturer and supplier intelligence, solar tracker, fish structure, and PRBV system worldwide. At the end of last year, with over 1,000 employees, Artex has supplied over 32 gigawatts to nearly 1,100 plants in 40 countries. Currently, our value global market, we ranked top 4. And from 2017, we have consistently achieved #1 tracker supplier in Asia Pacific. This map will show you our presence in the world. We have developed 4 service centers in China, in India, in Spain, and Mexico to serving all projects around the world. In addition, the top brand included Vietnam, the fastest support customer. And we have 2 old factories located in Changzhou and Anhui, China, with a total production capacity more than 22 gigawatts per year. We can deliver industry-leading quality products on time and deliver quickly to customer needs. Currently, we hold many international certificates and patents, such as UL, IEC, TUV, and CBB to demonstrate the quality in our product. When talking about the quality of tracker, wind tunnel test is very important factor to determine how stable tracking in new environment, such as high wind speed. Artex had built all lab to serving for evaluations. So this they have a 5 level from low to high. Mostly tracker companies reach level 3, but a few companies reach level 4. But the only outage solar reach level 5. We call it Aero Plus. With after testing and collection of electric data, outage solar does tracker very rigid and meet the international design in high wind speed. Okay, now we come to the technology of outage solar. Currently, we supply 3 types of product on the market: the tracking system, the fish structure, and solar carbon series. This is one of products that it's had a new trend in the future. But however, because we have a limited time, so I will focus on the main topic today about the tracker. So I have to another occasion to share another project of outage. Okay, for tracking system, we developed 2 products. 2 big solution we call SkySmart 2, and 1 big solution we call Skylight 2. With the SkySmart 2, this is one of our very popular products globally. It's all in a synchronous multi-point drive with the advanced slow driver, how to control and improve the power faster. Wind resistance up to 200% was studied in wind tunnel tests. It's very, very safe in the real environment. We have to reduce risk and O&M costs. SkySmart 2 use less steel and less pipe, so therefore it helps for EPC costs. It's simpler for construction work. And this solution is extremely perfect match with large module, especially when combined with bifacial module. It will help to reduce direct cover on the backside, as well as bring more energy output than 1 big solution. So as a result, using SkySmart 2 can make investment costs are significantly reduced. Okay, this is our 1 big solution we call Skylight 2. As you know, PV motors have been designed bigger and bigger and to increase power, so that enlarge both tracker core and length, imposing a stability challenge on to traditional single AC tracker. Then after launch the Skylight 2 as a new solution, that's a great product from the old one. This is the first 1 big single AC tracker equipped with pentagonal top 2 design and synchronous multi-point mechanism. And those are some innovative breakthroughs of this product. The first is all pentagonal top 2 design. This cross-section provided with larger bending and torsional capabilities with a minimum steel utilization. And the second is wind resistance is very safe. While the whole you can see why the whole tracker industry tend to reduce the wind stall speed, but the Skylight 2 only trigger wind stall at 22 meters per second. So we release up to 2% more energy per year, hence it's lower LCOE. And it uses standardized design, benefit for plan layout. So you can imagine that instead of having too many types of tracker as traditional one, Skylight 2 is enabled by a step designed to optimize the outcome with lower complexity types of tracker. And it can be adapted more efficient to difficult terrain without large cost oscillation. Moreover, Skylight 2 can release the potential of string inverter by reduced mismatch. So it has maximized the energy output. And the final is synchronous multi-point driving system. This digitifies the tracker to keep allowable pressure level on large modules and prevent the cracking and delamination. So that's how Artex give investors the difference and minimize the LCOE for project lifetime. So in a nutshell, both Artex 1B, 2B or 1B solution. So we'll have the following outstanding common points, so that's it uses synchronous multiple drive with advanced loop driver, it's the independent role with high adaptability of tolerance, north-south 20% sloped. It uses low wireless communication with long range, up to 8 kilometers and low power. The next is operated by string power system with backup lion battery. And especially outage tracking system is all integrated with AI technology. So what can other AI technology bring to investor? There are two standouts of this technology. The first is inverse tracking strategy. That's in-depth analyze topography to do tracking layout more efficient and avoid setup, maximize the utilization of radiation. So this thing will have to increase power generation up to 5%. And the second point is smart monitoring cloud platform. This have to often real-time data and recognize the projected area to identify suitable tracking methods for different areas. This point will have to increase in power generation up to 2%. So as a result, the new generation AI can help optimize the tracker in its terrain, allowing for real-time setting avoidance for leading up to 7% more energy. Well, those are outstanding technology in product that Artec bring to a customer. Now we can take a look to some real projects applying this technology that Artec provided. Up to now, we have supplied more than 9 gigawatts of tracking system globally. In Vietnam market, a total more than 1 gigawatt, both fixed and tracking system. For tracking alone, we have local experience with more than 170 megawatts. And here are some last project we provided into global, both of 1B and 2B solution. And this is one project we provided in Vietnam. The project is a part of Trung Nam Group. It's a well-known project collected in 450 megawatts in Southeast Asia region. Each solution does a bifacial combined with 1B skyline. And according to owner feedback that the energy yield of tracker is about 25% higher than fish. So with local experience and present in Vietnam markets many years, Artec is confident that we'll always have different and prioritize policy for this potential market, make it affordable. So, well, this was my presentation today. Thank you very much for your taking time to listen.
Thank you, Minnie, and thanks to everyone for joining our today's webinar. We appreciate all speakers' great support and valuable comments for this market. We will show the recording and the PowerPoint slides used today of today's webinar to your registration email by the end of next week. Should you have any questions, please be free to contact our team through the email address showing on the slides right now. Please make sure to follow our Solar Talks webinar on LinkedIn to get our first-hand webinar update information. Thank you again. See you next time. Thank you.